train ambassadors. I moved to 50K, I moved to 30, I moved to 50, I moved to 100. A child? Yeah, I moved to 100, we moved to 150. Hi and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Kikelo Madini and this is the first episode of Bridging the Gap. Bridging the Gap is all about helping people move from where they are to where they want to be. Now, on Bridging the Gap, I'll be interviewing people who have achieved one or two things. You don't have to have done it all. They don't have to have gotten to where they want to be. But if they have started traveling that path and they have seen one or two successes, I'll be interviewing them so that anybody else who wants to travel that same path will understand the steps to take. Welcome to your first episode of Bridging the Gap. If this is your first time on this channel, welcome, special welcome, welcome, extra welcome. But if this is not your first time on this channel, welcome back. And I hope you enjoy this first episode of Bridging the Gap. See you in there. Let's get to know you. What's your name and what do you do? Oh, okay. So my name is Jafet Joshua. Okay. Yeah, so I'm a computer engineer by profession, and I currently work as head of training with Dara Skills. Okay. Yeah, so I basically facilitate Python programming, data analysis, and I also facilitate design thinking and computational thinking as well. Right. Design thinking and computational thinking. Okay. So that's like what you do 9 to 5. Yeah. Or like your personal hustle, your side hustle exactly. Well, for me, it's not side hustle. It's like another thing I do. Okay. Like I'm a computer engineer, so of course I like optimization. Mm-hmm. So I like to optimize whatever I have to like. So they call it like value chain. Mm-hmm. So the value chain of computer engineering is basically gadget. Mm-hmm. So I know how to fix laptops and also I sell gadgets. So I just partner with vendors and then people like approached me and asked me to vet the systems. So okay. Yeah, so I purchased it for people, vetted to make sure everything is working fine, especially now that more people are buying like second-hand laptops since there's not much money to buy like new one. So yeah, I just buy the laptop for them and make sure that it's working perfectly fine. So tell me about Need PC and culture shifts. Okay, so Need PC was bettered out of I think my passion to like help people optimize like their gadgets to make sure like they're getting value for their money. Mm. Then culture was in school, so I think I did not like the way kids were growing up within my environment. Mm. So, and I had to like trace what would be like the problem. So I noticed that it's the culture of where they are coming from and the environment where we are. Okay. Has a culture. So the culture now is just make money as fast as you can. Mm. So that like has become like the major driver of many of our youth's interest, and also not much of them are really having passion for something sustainable. They just want it fast, and all. So culture shift was actually brought it to like help kids to be able to move away from their culture and embrace what is the right thing and not just what they know. Because what you know might not be the right thing, but what the right thing will always be something you need to know. Okay, so culture shift is not just about learning computer skills. No, that was not the first. And that was not the first reason why I started culture shift. The major reason why I started culture shift was because we actually started it in the church. So yeah, so we had like the pastor, they came prayed over us. We had 40 to 50 kids, and we had like 12 team members like on our first day of launch. Wow. Yeah, so most of the individuals who were there, we were basically mentoring them. We were having things like quiz, competition. So the later part of coding came in as to help the kids to become economically valuable. So because you can have moral values and not be economically valuable. Okay. How did you start this and balance it with school? With schooling? Because I'm sure you're doing this culture shift while you're in school, right? Yeah, school was very hectic for me. So, but most times it's always when I'm at home during break. That's when I do it and culture shift. But in school, I basically I just focus on academics and that was just it. Okay. How did you know that culture, like you already said that because of things you see around you, the way children were behaving and all that. Why did you now decide that culture shift was going to be the thing that would make the difference that you're looking for? Yeah, so the thing now is just culture shift is a combination of two words, culture and shift. Yeah, so I know that if you're able to shift away from the cultures you grew up with, you are definitely like going to make a difference. And most times you have to learn how to embrace what's like not normal. So for me, I was willing to do that normal. Yeah, so because at the end of the day, if we all want to be normal people, then that cannot be interesting. Yeah, so I just so maybe when we're in a group, I feel comfortable being like uncomfortable for others to see that this person is not like the regular type of individual. So for me, culture shift was like the game changer. And we had like a lot of kids who. So when I was teaching kids coding, I was not only teaching coding, I was teaching them values. I was teaching, in fact, 5 minutes to the end of our class to 10 minutes. We will study like one scripture and we pray together with my kids. Okay. So they are not just learning coding, they are learning values that will sustain them in the IT world. So what were your team members doing? Like what was the place of your team members? Okay, so for CSW, that's Scottish Rural, so we had like the technical guys who were basically going to be handling anything that has to do with the coding part. Then we also had persons who were like anything that has to do with let's say business side of the company. Then we had persons who were like code developers. And so then we also had people who were like mentors to the kids. So because we wanted to pair one child to at least and two child to at least one mentor at a time. Yeah, so everybody was like up and doing to just ensure that the whole were able to like harness the potential of these kids and put them in the right direction. Okay, so okay, that's nice. What I want you to do, help me do now, I want you to walk me through the process. When you had the idea, how did you now go to betting it, getting people to join your team, getting all that? Walk us through the process of how you got people to buy into your vision and even getting the pastors to believe in what you were doing, that they even supported by and people gave you their children to train them and all that. How did you really do that? Oh, in Nigeria, when you are talking to people and you are trying to explain your idea and you hear that awkward silence, it just means that you just said something that they've never heard before. Okay. So yeah, but the second they just start like telling you, like casting you, like guy, this thing is not going to work and all. So you just know that something is off there. But when they hear something they've never heard before, yes, so that silence was like my conviction. So when I went back home, I just started speaking to my guys, my friends who we finished secondary school. I was like, how will it be nice if you are able to help in transforming the life of young kids by helping them that? And they say, yes, of course. So I shared the vision. The vision is every single child out there must be able to have economical value systems that make them not just to be godly persons, but when they walk into companies, they are able to speak and companies can hear them. And at the end of the day, their values from they learn from church and what they are learning from school is able to produce something significant for them. So I was just pitching the one after, and so I was able to pitch to about 12 persons, right? So three of those persons were my siblings. They were carrying chairs. This one they were sweeping the office, the church that day to make sure everything was settled. My friends, they were all there trying to make sure everything was all together. My mom came in, we need to go and buy Hollandia for the people we had invited to come and speak for us and all. I think we were able to raise money to wear for that very first day of the launch. So afterwards, I think I now left to, so I went back to school and school was taking so much of my time. And then by the time I was coming back, most persons had already gotten admission, so there are not much persons. So, but the vision was becoming more clearer. So 2020, that was when, so I think I was praying, then I just had kids coding. So I just had kids coding. So I just say yes, that was it. So that time happened that it coincided with people were at home, children were at home during COVID-19. That was 2020. Somewhere around July. So more kids were at home. I was like, this is the perfect time for this idea. So I just went to meet few persons, and I was telling them this. But I said, why have you been keeping this idea for a long time? So I had the first person who I thought. So I started with like one child. I was able to convince the woman. I cannot your sister learn how to learn computer. It wasn't coding, so she gave me the opportunity to teach the person coding. And then I taught the person coding, no, the computer, and afterward, the second person, then third person, then I started getting recommendations by like August. And at the point by September, sorry, by October, I ran out of this thing, I ran out of space. Like I was having trouble with time because of a high number of kids that I was putting teaching that time. Parents were super happy, kids were happy, they were like waiting on the window for me to come. Like they were already anticipating me once it's 4, 5 o'clock. So yeah, that's like the whole thing. And I think the best part of it was the fact that the kids were usually doing excellently well with their coding stuff. So parents were super happy and all. And that was like giving me access to relationships and to mentorships on the parent side as well. So yeah, and that's how I found myself where I'm currently working. Okay, that's how you got this job where you're working now. Yeah, so where how I got to Para Skills was um, during NYC posted me here. So I met with the general manager. He asked me what are the things I can do. So I showed him a website that I worked on. So I had already built a website, and pictures of me online with the kids and everything. So that's how I was absorbed. I served 1 year. I was retained. And after like 1 year of working, I'm not like the head of training. So everything was just working perfectly. Very fast. And yeah. Fast. Yes, it was working very fast. And also I've had opportunity now to train NYC members over 300. Then I have opportunity to train kids also here at Paraskill. Then I've trained a couple of persons, baristas. I've trained ambassadors, directors in government offices. Yeah, with their computer skill, data analysis website, and even coding as well. And now is it, are they picking up, elderly people and yeah, funny enough, so most of them study like economics, mathematics, so they are quite sharp, so they are able to pick up. And I think I have that patience to go over it again until like, they get it. So it's something that I think that one is a gift because most times at the end of the day, you want to get value for the money. So. Yeah. So another thing is you mentioned mentorship. I wanted to ask you about, and is there anyone that you say helped you through the process, like a mentor? Okay, through yeah, I had one Mr. Michael. So he was very, very instrumental to my growth. Then along the way, as Tonya, God bless her for me. So she was also one of my clients. So put on, we ended up becoming like a godmother to me. So she started mentoring me. I was teaching her kids for the first 6 weeks. I spent in my house. I read 6 books. She was giving me, yeah, every week she was giving me books to read. And she introduced me to one of my favorite prophet, who I'll say, General Moyo, who has literally like shaped my life completely. So it was still during those days. Physically? Yeah, no, yeah, physically. So it was still during those days of culture shape that I, which is during one of those times where I was teaching kids house to house. I got to meet him. So and she actually introduced me to him. So first 6 weeks, I read 6 books. She was teaching me about relationships. She was teaching me about marriage. She was teaching me like a whole lot of things. Everything. Yeah, she was exposing my mind to different pictures, giving me access to their house and everything. So and of course my parents and everybody. So my mom was always there to support me. But Mr. Michael was very peculiar because he was one of the invited guests because culture shift, we were talking about I think factors of culture, he taught the kids then factors of culture shift and things that influence culture shift. He spoke about language, spoke about media, and then I think he spoke about family as well. So those are like key components of culture shift. So and he told me, so I was practicing to become a public speaker, and he said to me that no, you don't come and practice how to speak good English and then you call yourself a public speaker. He said you find a problem and you solve it. Then people will invite you to speak about the problem which you have solved. So it was much more than just mentorship for he was like the perfect person I needed at that particular point in my life. Okay, so I was going to, I think at a particular point when you had started, by the time you're getting booked and then you didn't have any space in your calendar to take other students, I think by that time you started charging. Yeah. So how did you know how much to charge per child? Oh, so most times the price were growing as I was growing, prices were growing as well. So first one was 5K, then I charged 15K. No, it was 10K, sorry. First one was 10K per child. I moved to 15K, I moved to 30, I moved to 50, I moved to 100. Per child? Yeah. I moved to 100, we moved to 150. And parents were sleeping. Of course. So, but I think it was different parents, not like the same. So as I was growing, I was most of the kids were changing, most of them. So I was getting referrals. So the price I raised last time is not the same price I'm using for this individual. So child, and I was charging monthly. Okay. Yeah, I was charging monthly. Were you, what about the systems they used to learn? No, it was just, so at the point I had like 4 systems, so I used to carry like two, and if the child didn't have, but most times they always had like their system. Okay. So I was going to ask you before how you got people to trust you, their children and their money, but since you said you always started getting referrals, I'm sure those ones that, I mean, if someone refers me to someone, I will feel confident that okay, this is someone that I know. Yeah. And so because that person I know trusts you to make me trust you as well. So I think that already answers the question, right? Yeah. So I'll say during during this process, what is the most challenging experience that you had teaching the children and all that? I think it's the children themselves. So having to understand the kind of child because what I was doing for A is not the same thing I was doing for B because I needed to understand how to do A B. So I have one of my peculiar situations. So one of my kids, so he was very playful, but apparently, so I just asked the parent and they told me. So at a point, teachers are even like this one, you know the photo. But as I just noticed that there's something different about this boy. And he'll be clean, and when he's coming back with the answer, because I'll ask him a question, he will start cleaning. So the first 2 days I was really pissed. So over time I now gave him chance, let him do what he wants to do. Then at the end of the day he was able to at the end of the day he always gave me superior answers. So I just noticed that there was something unique about this book. So most times I never pause and say you must do it my way with this kind of thing. So one of the challenging moments was trying to understand the kids I was working with and also having to deal with parents because there are a lot of difficult parents. And so having to deal with parents and, and also it was quite challenging. Now you have to learn not to do this, not to do that, and also you have to take in. But most of the parents really liked me. Like, most of them, especially. So once most times it starts with the wives. So I think husbands once the wife likes you as a person, it's like automatic for the husbands. So because they always believe they want something best for the kids. So I think those are like my most challenging. Then having to decide what to teach this child. I think one of the hardest things to do is to be like a CEO of a company because you're not deciding you're making decisions, and these decisions are like going to affect the life of an individual. So I have to create the curriculum and having to teach them, and you must make sure you teach them excellently and all of these things have to come from your head. So sometimes you don't wish you have a boss somewhere who just someone that will give you direction. Yeah, so but I was able to come off it and I think those experiences are helping me like where I'm working now instead of training. So most times I have to come up with some most of the things I'm teaching the students and so far the review has been great. So no experience was lost. So let me ask, because I think one thing that is prevalent in Nigeria, let me not say in Nigeria, but I've heard other people complain about it is getting them to pay you your money. Yeah. So how did you go with that? Getting parents to pay you your money? Is it that they paid before you started the classes? Or? No, I think the truth is, me, I always got, I had, the preparing always got paid me, like most times at the beginning of the class, most times at the end. So if like, I needed to transport to their house, of course they would pay me at the beginning, but most times at the ending of the class. And for me, I never had any default moment where a parent did not pay me. Maybe I had like 98% success in terms of payment. So nobody was, you didn't have anybody that held your money and it took you like a month or 2 months to get the money out. Most times they even pay me before the class even end because the kids. So I think the most amazing part was the fact that all the kids, this moment I started teaching them, this moment I started teaching them, we are doing becoming like the first in that particular subject, that's computer ICT in their school. Like the moment I start teaching them, when you check like their grade score, it's like the highest. So the joy and everything, they did not have like second, and the kids were happy. So and the kids were always giving good reviews to the parents. Yeah, so when people are happy, money will always follow. So you're giving value. Yeah. Basically. Yes. So I never had any doubt of maybe my money is not going to come. I just trust the process and most of the time. And most times I do a lot of needs assessment to say that I don't just start class when you know that you're literally struggling with your so I can just do a favor and say, okay, a child can come once in a while. I'll just help with maybe their skill set, but not like you're hiring me. So I was able to picture most of those things and I was able to like avoid them. Okay, so when you started, did you ever have like imposter syndrome or anything? Yes, I did. So one of the clients I had was because these kids were coming from the US, so they were speaking. Oh God, so they were speaking Texas English. I remember when I stepped into the house for the first time, I was like, just like you don't care. So this was like part of the story that I keep telling every day. So when I read when I walked into the house, parents were happy. I was doing excellently well, but this voice would be like, "You don't belong here. You're teaching these guys that I've been to abroad. You know, not even across the shores of Africa and all." So my parents were happy, but the voice inside of me was just fighting me. And, we don't care and stuff. Even though the kids were happy, they were learning, they were doing excellent stuff, the voice keep fighting me. And guess what? After like the fourth, I was like, these people, they will soon send me out of this place. And I think at the fourth month, I just went to the house to do a class and the parent was like, you know what? So I just ended the class. What was the reason? Nothing. Oh, please, if I did something wrong, can you just tell me? Okay, you were ending your. Yeah, and they pay me well. Like I was doing four classes in a week, um, and 2 hours twice, 1 hour twice, and they were paying me like 116K, I think, every month. So I think roughly in a month, I don't actually work up to even 16 hours. Yeah, so for me that time, it was a lot of money, you know. And you were teaching other kids aside those yeah, kids? I was teaching other kids. So that was just 2 hours in a day, and then twice in 2 hours, twice in a week, 1 hour, twice in a week. So did you find out what happened and they terminated the contract? No, I did not. So, but they just said they'll be stopping from now. If there's need, they'll call me back. So I remember I knew it was the voice. I had to go back and flog it in the place of prayer so that it doesn't happen again. Yeah, so I went after I left that place. God was there. So if I was still there, I wouldn't have been like where I'm currently working because the one wanted to use me for other company. I think somehow those that thing kind of affects you. It's like it somehow comes to life. Somehow, if you keep thinking like that, you will start repelling. You don't even know you start repelling opportunities and things like that. So you think that's what happened to you as well? Yeah, exactly. So I already asked these people the things happening. I was like, I was just feeling like not enough kind of thing. So but I had everything they needed. Yeah. Now I think I worked on it and everything is perfectly fine. When I walked into a room filled with like dignitaries, I tell myself I belong here and I have a part to play in this place for the success of this thing. So even when I is president, I talk with him with that confidence. And if it is due, it has become like my most valuable skill. I can close any deal any day, anytime because I've been able to gain back that confidence. So okay, apart from the prayer and stuff, how did you work? I read a lot of books. Okay. Yeah, I read a lot of books. On dealing with imposter syndrome or on building your confidence. Yeah, I listened to a lot of DJs. I listened to a lot of Jim Rohn, and also I listened to a lot of Marshall. So yeah, those are like my go-to healing place that time. And I think I was able to come up with so DJs gave me global perspective and all. This one is just a general question. What is your proudest achievement so far? That when you think about it, you say, Kai, Japhet, you have done something great in your life. Earlier this year, our house was demolished. So when I walked to the house and then I said, oh, we're buying the house. And I think I had less than 500K and the house was worth millions. So the owner, I think he was not ready to sell, he was ready to sell, but we had paid the rent already. So when I said we were going to buy that was like the first time I was going to the house. I just said, oh, we are buying the house because the house was way better than our former house. And I walked into the house. I just keep saying we are buying this house. So the owner was like, no, I shouldn't say it yet though, so that the owner of the house will not hear and increase the price and all of that. To that okay. So the man one time like that one, he now called. So we now spoke with him. He said how much do you want to pay? I told him this is what I can afford to. The man said no, it's not close. He was not in need of money. So 2 months later, he now called that talk we talked that time. Is he do I have on the table? Yeah. No, he was coming to my terms and he was like, okay, if I have any money, I should just send to him. I was like, how about the agreement? He said, I should not worry, we'll do that one later. Let me just send him what I have. And he has something he's pursuing and he needs money urgently. So I sent him what I had and then, yeah, that's how we started. I went back and wrote in my book in the next 3 months, we are completing the payment of this house. We still less than 500K in my account. And yeah, I think in exactly that 3 months, the whole money was like complete. We had paid the house, and everything was cleared, like no debts. Now 3 months, within the space of 6 months, we moved from a demolished house rented to the one we rented. We ended up buying it, and so now I think the accomplishment there was that I negotiated the house from beginning to the end on behalf of my parents. We were able to close the deal. I was able to contribute more than half of that money. Wow. Yeah, for my. So I just wanted my parents to live in a very happy place. And also, yeah, apart from you've collected the certificate and all those ownership documents. Yes. So yeah, at the end of the day, we were able to. In fact, the whole thing, the man was so happy. I was happy. Everybody was happy. Your parents must have been super proud. Yeah, but of course. Then I think my other was proudest was I was able to register. Okay, so my mom and my dad, I was able to like register companies for them. Yeah. So and all of them now have like their own personal companies, and they are doing, um, and every one of them like reflects their own personal values, and also yeah, those are like my proudest moments. Wow. There are actually things you should be really proud of. I've tried. Yeah. Tried. So let me ask, what is one habit or practice that has significantly impacted your life? Reading. Reading, no? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I read. Like I literally buy books. I buy most of my money goes to books. That's the truth. What kind of books do you read? I read a lot of business books. I read a lot of spiritual books, and then I read. Yeah, I read more of strategy. So me, I'm more of a business oriented individual. So I read more of business books. Yeah. What are your three favorite books? Anyone at all? Okay, so from leadership standpoint, so the Spirit of Leadership by Max Morrow, Seven Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen R. Covey. Then there's one I've been reading so far, Wealth Money Can Buy by Robin Sharma. Okay. Yes. Oh, I think I'd like to read that. But not to round up. What? Let me ask you. Okay, I'll ask you three questions before we round off. Okay. First of all, let me ask you, what is one thing that you're most grateful for? I think the day I discovered my purpose. Okay. Yeah, it shapes my life in a way. So it helps me to make my decision fast. Anything that's no added value. Yeah, like short. It's I can make my decision within some seconds. So I'm grateful to God that I was able to discover my purpose early. Let me divert a bit. It's still an line, but how did you discover your purpose? In case somebody is watching and they want to discover their purpose, how would you? Okay, so for me, I just number one, I had flair for to see people like developed. And I just so when I'm around people, I don't like to see them remain the same way. So I just noticed that I'm a human capital developer. Yeah, so now, having discovered I'm a human capital developer, it kind of shapes my life in a small way. So when I meet people, I just try as much as possible to help them see areas where they can improve on. Okay. Yeah, so those are like some also. And then I think I attended a program where my mentor was teaching. My mentor is Reverend Julius Michiaza. Reverend Julius Michiaza. So he has been mentoring me since 2017 now. So he taught there and we talked about like the three levels of leadership, no, four levels. And then he said the one that I meant was the fourth level, which was the human capital development. So I just identified me itself that this is where I belong. Okay. Yeah, so that has really helped me because it was aligning with everything. I love teaching. Teaching has to do with developing other people and all of that. So I just stick around it. So every businesses that I do is to make sure people get the best. So even if I'm charging you more money, but I must make sure you get the best. And when you have problems, I will make sure that I am there to make sure that your problem is solved and all. So Yeah, that was how I was able to school.
So apart from the setback you told me about that woman, that's the one that your contract was terminated.
Yeah.
Have you had any setbacks generally?
Uh, um, I think all are progressive. They look like setback, but when I look back, I just noticed that they are not setback. They were strategic moments for me to be like where I am going to. I needed those moments because they like helped me to reflect well. So instead of being like setback, they became like stepping stone. Yeah, because the experiences literally transformed how I think about certain things and how I was able to envision myself in the future. And then if it was error, I make sure it never happens again.
Okay, so if there's someone that wants to start something like what you started
Mhm.
now, that's something like culture shift,
Mhm.
that want to teach children, it may not be coding or anything tech related, just something like that to teach people. How do you think we can start that, given what you've experienced?
And so I think the first thing is to make sure that it's people that you have at the back of your heart. Because the truth is, if your goal is to go and make money sharp, sharp, you'll be frustrated. Yeah, your number one priority must be that it is people you want to serve. Because I literally loved my kids. There are times when the kids would just be saying things, but I would just overlook it. And I love them beyond their mistakes. Yeah, so and they know that I actually love them. The person must like have people at the center of his heart. People must not like you're trying to use them or trying to like pet them, because the true test is when things go wrong and how you're able to respond to them.
Okay, so I know you're no longer doing, you've put culture shifts on a hold
Yeah,
because of, so that your they won't clash of interest, because where you're working now does the same thing.
yeah.
But what if somebody wants you to train their child?
Oh, that I still do that. I can do that like maybe weekends when it's not work hours, and maybe weekends, maybe Saturdays and Sundays, and just help like, the child to 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 train them. And most times I can just bring them over to the company where I'm working.
Okay.
Yeah, so if we are doing maybe kids coding or anything, you can just I can tell the person to just come over here. But for me here is where I currently work is a training ground, and I take it seriously because I need it for the next phase of my life.
So when you sell laptops, so what else do you sell?
Mm, so I build websites, yeah, for businesses, e-commerce. I build e-commerce website, NGO website, church website.
Any kind
Yeah,
of website at all?
yeah. Then yeah, like gadgets generally.
Okay. So if someone needs your services for any of these things you mentioned now, how do they get? How can they get to you?
Nipsey.com.ng. So like I think I'll be able to get the services there.
So that's neatpc.com.ng.
Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Alright.
No, Jacket, thank you so much for giving me your time today
Alright.
and answering all my questions.
No problem.
You're my first Bridging the Gap interviewee.
Okay.
So thank you so much.
Alright.
High five.
Thank you.